on YouTube? I'm back with another Warzone video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my best class setups. Now with this last update, a lot of guns have received a nerf. With these class setups I have for you guys, I've used personally to drop my 15 and 18 kill solo wins. I hope that I can maybe help some of you guys out who may not know what guns to use at this point in time, but without further ado, let's just get into it. For our first class setup, we're going to be running the MP40 and the STG along with Cold-Blooded, Overkill, and Amped with the throwing knife and the heartbeat sensor. On our MP40, we're going to be running the recoil booster and the VDD short barrel for increased fire rate. We're going to be using the Mark Skeletal underbarrel for aim down sight speed and movement speed. And we're also going to be putting on the 45 round mags paired with the lengthened ammo type. Lengthened is just going to give us more bullet velocity. On the rear grip, we're going to be rocking the fabric grip for aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and hip fire accuracy. Now for our two perks, we're going to be running brace and quick. Brace is just going to allow us to have initial firing recoil, and quick makes it easier to get out of fights for faster sprint speed if we must. The slate reflector is just going to give us a sight and more overall precision. The Krosnick 33M folding is going to give us sprint to fire speed and movement speed. Now for our STG, we're going to be putting on the MX silencer for sound suppression, horizontal recoil control, vertical recoil control, and damage range. On the underbarrel, we're going to have the hand stop for vertical recoil and horizontal recoil. For our magazine, we're going to be running the 50 round mag and lengthened for better bullet velocity and so we don't run out of ammo as fast as we would with an SMG. Our optic is going to be the 48 times scope. I like this scope just because I think it's the cleanest scope for the ARs. Of course, you could use whatever scope you want. If you guys don't want to use the 48 times scope, you can always, of course, use the G16 2.5 times scope. That one's pretty good too, but you guys could just do whatever you want. For our grip, we're going to be running Palmer grip for flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil control during sustained fire. And our perks are going to be vital for that increased body damage and fully loaded for max starting ammo. We're going to be running cold-blooded so that we're not targeted by enemy UAVs, combat scout, high alert, all that good stuff. Overkill, we're going to be running for two primary weapons. Pretty much because if you don't run overkill, you're weird. I mean, I really don't got anything to say about that. We're going to be running amped for faster weapon swap for fights, and for our lethal, we're going to be running a throwing knife and heartbeat sensor. For the second class setup, I got the automaton and the MP40. The MP40 is the same class setup as the first MP40. I just have a different AR. The automaton, we're going to be running the MX silencer for sound suppression, horizontal recoil control, vertical recoil control, and damage range. We're also going to be pairing that muzzle up with the Anastasia sniper barrel for bullet velocity and range, along with accuracy. For our underbarrel, we're going to be running the M1941 hand stop for vertical recoil control, and We're also going to be rocking the 45 round magazine along with lengthened for obvious bullet velocity. For our rear grip, we're going to have the granular grip for aiming stability, aim walking movement speed, aim walking steadiness, and recoil recovery. For our perks, we're going to run tight grip for accuracy and recoil control during sustained fire, and fully loaded for max starting ammo. Our sight is going to be the same as the STG, the 4 to 8 time scope. It's the cleanest in my opinion. Then for our stock, we're going to be running the ZAC skeletal for aim walking movement speed, aim walking steadiness, and initial firing recoil. Along with the same perks. You guys can switch the perks up. It really just depends on your play style. I'm more of a run and gun type of person, so I run overkill, cold blooded, so the enemies can't see me, and amped for faster weapon swap. Um, if you're more of a chill, laid back player, you could run quick fix, serpentine. Serpentine pretty much negates 20% of all incoming fire while sprinting. Um, you can run tempered or ghost. They're both pretty good. You could even run combat scout or battle hardened is also a pretty often used one. I've seen a lot of people running tracker recently, more than usual. Um, but I wouldn't really stray away from these three because, of course, you can always get the perks in game out of loot boxes and whatnot. For our lethal, we're still running the throwing knife and the heartbeat sensor for targeting enemies who we may not be able to see on our minimap, and throwing knife for easy finishes. For our third loadout, we're going to be using a gun that is pretty often overlooked by the Warzone community. Um, the Uzi. We're going to be running the monolithic suppressor, first responder barrel, the 5MW laser, and the stern issue wooden stock, along with the Merc foregrip. Now with this class setup right here, this gun has the smallest crosshairs in the game. I'm willing to bet money on that. It has crazy hip fire accuracy along with damage output, just making it a complete banger. We're running the NZ41 along with it. For longer range, you're going to be running the MX silencer and the Orb Weaver 360 BC barrel. For reduced scope sway and bullet velocity, along with our Carver foregrip for underbarrel on the underbarrel for vertical recoil and hip fire accuracy. Our magazine is going to be the 40 round mag, along with frangible for inflicting wound to the enemy. Pretty much makes it so that the enemy has more of a health regen delay than normal. We're going to be using pinned for increased flinch dealt. Basically almost makes it impossible for the enemy to shoot back at you accurately at least. And fully loaded for max starting ammo, along with the LOR MK3 stock for recoil control while crouched and accuracy and recoil control during sustained fire. Again, along with 4 to 8 time scope. Tagged along with the same perks and the same lethal and tactical. Now for the last loadout, I have the P90, which is also just probably as overlooked as the Uzi, even though it's better than what people take it for. you put the monolithic suppressor on it, the forged tack retribution barrel, the tacked suppressor, I mean laser, and the granulated grip tape on the underbarrel and the rear grip, and you have one accurate laser beam. We're also going to be running the M13, which is another weapon that people don't really use anymore, even though it's pretty damn good. Highly accurate weapon right here with this class setup. Monolithic suppressor for sound suppression and damage range. Tempest marksman barrel for damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. Then we're going to be running the VLK 3x optic. This right here is probably the cleanest scope for ARs and for the modern warfare guns at least. For the underbarrel, we're going to be running the Commando foregrip for aiming stability and recoil control. And for our mag, we're going to be running the 50 round mag. Along with the same perks, cold-blooded, overkill, amped, and with the throwing knife and the heartbeat sensor. Now, you guys can go ahead and alter these classes however you want based on your play style. I mean, obviously not everyone is a run and gun type of Warzone player, but you know, you guys don't have to sit and have the exact same class setup as I do, because what works for me may not always work for someone else. It's just a suggestion. But I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Drop a like, maybe even subscribe if you're feeling a little saucy. I mean, I greatly appreciate it. Obviously, I'm a new channel. Um, Comment down below what your favorite food is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.